What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Orange Slices, here once again with my friend Mark McKenzie. Mark, how are we doing, man? A little bit of a long travel day, huh?
Yeah, a bit of change of scenery. Everybody has probably seen our clips. You know, my background's gonna be a bit different, but yeah, man, it's good to be back stateside. Good to be back with the family. You know, the home smells, the Chick-fil-A. You know, flying. If you ever been to Philly's airport, you walk through like the international terminal. You just see down below. You see all of the spots that you used to hit up before you left the States. You know, so it was just nostalgic. It was great being there, and now back with the fam as well. So
Okay.
yeah, man.
We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. We are less than a month away from the biggest World Cup ever, right here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. All the biggest names in the sport will be here. Leo Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, and many, many more, all competing to win the world's most coveted trophy. I'm Heath Pearce, former U.S. men's national team player with stops in the Bundesliga, MLS, Denmark, and Sweden. And I'm the host of Orange Slices, sponsored by FanDuel Predicts. You can predict all the summer soccer showcase action all the way to the final match with FanDuel Predicts. All you have to do is sign up to get your $25 bonus. From the opening game to the final whistle, stay locked in with every pass, every goal, and every moment that moves us closer to crowning a champion. Sign up now for your $25 bonus on FanDuel Predicts. Go to FanDuel.com/predicts to sign up. That's FanDuel.com/predicts to get your $25 bonus. Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant, 18+. Bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risks and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with our consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus offer terms. Now let's get back to the show. You got your background blurred again, which means you don't want me to see your childhood Ninja Turtles in the back and all of your the toys that you can't get rid of. So we're gonna get you to unblur that at one of these days. But there are 21 days until the World Cup kicks off in Mexico. The first match, Mexico City, El Tri versus South Africa. Obviously, this is 2010 vibes all over again, and we've got a special guest from that era. Played a long time, World Cup veteran. With El Tri, an elite World Cup veteran, in fact. Guy played 4 consecutive World Cups, 2010 to 2022. Hector Moreno is going to join us. But before we get him on, Mark, we got to talk about the eventful weekend. We talked about the ultras storming the pitch, which led to the match being canceled. Is that the craziest experience you've had overall? Just in terms of, a little bit of that fear factor? Because You've been in CONCACAF as well, and we're going to talk to Hector a little bit about some of these kind of crazy scenes. But for you, was that the almost like most nervous fight or flight moment you've had in your career so far?
If I'm honest, no. Like, all right, so my first like.
I mean, I know.
CONCACAF.
Hold on. I know you told it. You admitted, so I can say this. You saw them coming on the field, and you were the first one to run inside. So I know that you weren't looking for a fight. You knew you had a flight. You got a kid now. Your life's different. That Bronx New Yorker, he ran off the field.
Listen, I wanted no smoke at all with anybody from none. I wanted nothing to do with that. So I said, if literally fight or flight kicked in, I was like, I'm going to fight or I'm going to make my flight. It's one or the other. So, yeah, I had to make a business call there. But I think my craziest experience is probably, my first one would be when we played El Salvador away. And it was the first game, I think, in our qualification. And it was a September. I think it was a September window. And, bro, we walked out, and it was full stadium. There were fireworks going off in the background. You look at the fence. That's like there's a fence with the barbed wire at the top surrounding the field. That's the only thing that's, like, dividing, keeping you from the fans. But, like, the fence is hanging. So it's, like, it's tilted kind of diagonal. So you think maybe 50, 100 people, chipping together, bro. They tilt the fence right over. So I think that was like my first one where we walked out and I said, yeah, this is real, man. This is like no joke. And then I think the second one was Honduras when we were down 1-0. And then we ended up winning the game, I think 3 or 4-1. And
San
the
Pedro
fans,
Sula.
San Pedro Sula, bro, they start throwing stuff on the field. You see people starting to come on the pitch in the corners. I was like, yeah, guys, yeah. I don't know, winning was great, but, bro, I just want to make sure we get up out of here ASAP. So I think those were like my 2 probably top tier CONCACAF moments where I was like, yeah, this is.
Well,
I'm sure Hector probably has a few more, so we'll bring him in.
We're gonna bring him on because he's, what the U.S. is experiencing now in terms of pressure, in terms of so much negative media now with social media. He's experienced it for 20 plus years and had to live with that. So it's time now to introduce our special guest, one of the most capped players in Mexican national team history, an all-time legend for El Tri, an all-around great guy, handsome dude. He's bringing up like the handsome vibes for the show. So muy guapo, as they say. Welcome to Orange Slices, Hector. Thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you, Heath. I appreciate it, man. Hey, Mark, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. Good to meet you officially, bro.
Yeah. I think we play against each other for one time because I was at the end of my career, but it's good to meet you personally here and to have a good chat, man. Congrats on everything you are achieving and everything. I hope everything goes right your way.
I appreciate that.
What was the one time you guys played? Was that a Nations League final?
Yeah, I think it was the Nations League final in Denver.
Oh,
I was reaching out in Wikipedia now just when Mark started playing, and then I saw that game. Yeah, crazy game, man.
Hey, so that game, right? Mark makes a big mistake to start the game.
Yeah, Tecatito scores, no?
Yeah.
So
I remember perfectly, man.
You don't have to bring Martin Marca that day, but obviously the U.S. comes back in that one. It was a crazy, crazy game. But like I was there working on the sideline with CBS Sports, and obviously Hector, you've done some stuff with them. And I remember just the craziness of that game. So for you, Hector, obviously the atmosphere was crazy. Every time that I played against Mexico in the U.S., it was an away game for the U.S. national team. And I've got a couple, 1-0, and then I have that Gold Cup final back in 2009. That was really bad for the U.S. in Giant Stadium. But we talked about Mark's crazy situation in France. What's the craziest situation you've ever faced? You've done all the CONCACAF. You've been all over the world. You've been in some environments where it's scary. Is there one or two moments that you remember being like, I'm actually scared or nervous?
Yeah, I have to go with Mark in this one. I was listening what he was saying about Salvador. He's just crazy, man. Just from the night before the game, they still go to the hotel. They bring like this serenata. I don't know how you say it. They bring the music. They throw fireworks, everything to don't let you sleep, like to bother you, to bring some pressure on. And also, it was for the qualification for 2010, so it was 2009, I believe. Javier Aguirre was the coach. We were struggling to make it to the World Cup. And then that game, even we lost. They beat us I was on the bench, I didn't play. And it was like what Mark was saying, like you see all the people on the fences and you see police there, but you don't think that they're going to do anything to help you, like as soon as they decide, they can jump over and then they can do whatever. I don't know. It's just crazy. They won. We lost. And after the game, I remember we stayed in the dressing room, which is all ugly or whatever, like not the greatest one. Mm-hmm. And we stayed like for 3 hours there because the people were still waiting for us outside to throw everything at us, even though there wasn't in the ceiling. It was a small space that they can throw something. They throw everything what can have. You can imagine, since I don't know, rocks or some trash or whatever they can do to intimidate you, to make you feel like that they were happy. It was just crazy because I was not ready or focusing that much on the game because I was on the bench. So I was able to see everything around that okay, let's finish the game, go back home because this would be crazy. And I think that was one of the worst. And like Mark said, when you go to Honduras, the people is so passionate there. They feel like they want to win by any cost, and they take everything like they have so much pride in their national team, the team, that they want to help, even though it sometimes it's not illegal or something, but it goes beyond football. Sometimes I believe, like Mark is living there, you play in Europe as well. Like people is more like, okay, when you're in the game, it's really heat, atmosphere, passionate, but when it's finished, most of the time, like 90% of the time, it's finished, or 95%. Sometimes it happen like this game with Mark was thinking about to fight or go home, but it's not if you're smart enough, you decide to go back home, fly, and take your stuff and relax, because it's just part of the game. It's passion. You have a lot of adrenaline, but at the end you have to show some respect for the opponent and to the people, to the world, to the children who are watching. It's important for us to be a good example.
And Heath, we've talked about this in the past. Hector, I don't think people, like the players, and especially teammates in Europe, truly understand like the CONCACAF experience.
No.
So, Heath and I talking about it, and I'm glad we have another player from another national team who understands it and has felt that same level of like intimidation, because they think, Americans, you guys are a bit soft. Like, no, it's real. Like that intimidation,
totally.
that feeling, that passion is real every time you step in the stadium.
And now that you've been playing for long in Europe, I believe that some teammates from there, like from Europe or some other countries or continents, they say, "Come on, you play in CONCACAF, yeah, it's with all due respect, it's, I don't know, Jamaica or Barbados or whatever. It doesn't matter because the challenge that you face there, like the pitch, the weather, the ball itself, I don't know, the ref." So many things that people don't take in consideration to go there and win those games. It's very difficult to qualify. I'm not talking about like the quality, because I believe, and we all can agree, that in Europe is like the best football, or wherever in South America is also great. But CONCACAF is not the great in talent, let's say, but in challenge and to things you have to overcome to achieve the result you want, because it's hard. Long trips, for you guys even work when you have to go to the Caribbean. I cannot imagine like 5-6 hours flight to go to play one game, go back, and 2-3 days after play another game. It's like a transatlantic, almost transatlantic flight. It's hard for all these kind of situations. People don't take in consideration, and I believe it's important to give some, I say, value to these wins when you go there and win, and so when you cannot win, then you get a good result.
Yeah, I remember Bob Bradley used to say to us, like, we'd come in organized, and he'd be like, "Okay, we're going to stay disciplined. We're going to wait for our 1 or 2 moments. We're going to score, and then we're going to get out of here." And I remember rolling up to El Salvador, and just things are hitting the bus coming up to the stadium, and then they're like, "Okay, you're here. Get out." And there's umbrellas, like from the security and police. I said, what are the umbrellas going to stop if somebody's throwing a rock or a brick?
Maybe they're rain.
And, five umbrellas you have to run under, and they're like, "Okay, come off." And everybody's looking like, "I'm not getting off the bus right now. This is crazy."
It is, man. It is. But it's good that we can talk about this, because sometimes, like traditional media with no beef or nothing, they don't take these things, and even though they go there sometimes. I think the last time the Mexican media go to one Salvador game was this one I was telling you. After that, they say, "Okay, no, we're not going anymore. we broadcast from home. It's safer, it's better, it's everything." So because they've seen all these things, and sometimes they, maybe because of the time, or maybe for whatever, in national television, they don't talk enough about this, because the people, the fans, they have to understand, they have to know all the things that happen, in this kind of situation. Now, this time we are lucky, or you are lucky, that as being the host of the national team, no qualification game of the World Cup, no qualification game, straight away to the big stage. So that's great, man.
Nah, man, it's nice. It's nice. Look, but I will say this though: the qualification period was probably some of that period was extremely memorable, and it was my first time going through it. Going through the process of flying in, train for a day or two, and then you go play the game. Then you go to train for another couple of days, and you fly to the game, and then you come back right after the game. You train, recover a couple of days, and then you got another qualification match, and then right after that, you're off back to Europe or back to your club to play. But the experience of stepping into those environments and getting to experience the level of passion from the people themselves when it came to just the game of football, it helped me really conceptualize like what football means in different parts of the world. And yeah, you get to experience as a youth player, but at the senior team level, it is something completely different. And you've played in multiple World Cups, so I can't even, imagine at that, like at the pinnacle of football, that experience, and we'll talk more about it. But yeah, the qualification period, I think, was something that I really cherished and enjoyed, especially being a young guy coming through the national team.
I believe so, man. I believe, and it makes you grow fast. Even if you don't want, even if you can, it makes you grow very fast because it's like you say, like people there, they just play for life, Like luckily, like you say, you go there, play, travel, and then finish, go back to your beautiful earned life in Europe, to keep getting your spot in Heng, now in Toulouse. So it's perfect, But all these people, who is playing in the Caribbean Confederation, all these teams, the game, I believe, the game against Mexico and against the USA is their window to be known in the world of football. If they have a good match there, they can be able to get a contract in MLS, to get a contract here in Mexico. So it means everything for them. So you have to respect that, and you have to overachieve that.
Let me ask you guys this: do you think that it's forever changed now with obviously expanded World Cup? Because qualifying was like, until maybe the last one or two games, there was never like maybe every so often in a cycle, Mexico's on top, U.S. is on top, but generally, like, now qualifying, I think, is different forever in terms of the amount of teams and the pressure. Do you think that's changed? Because that 32-team era, I mean, that was a grind. Every single game was a grind to like get to. You didn't have, like you said, you lose in El Salvador. I remember going down to Costa Rica, being on the bench. I didn't make the bench, and we were in like a suite, and we were surrounded by the ticos everywhere, and the stadium was shaking, and we lost 3-0, and we were like, we had to play Honduras the next game in the U.S., and it was like scary. It was stressful, Do you think it's different now?
For me, I think it's different, right? Because now you have 48 teams now, so that's 16 additional teams that have an opportunity. I think the pressure of knowing there's only 3 slots per region, at least for CONCACAF, it was 3, 3 in a playoff. That is serious. I remember when we were going through qualification, we lost to Panama, and it added that level of like, okay, yeah, we really, like, we were in an okay position, but you still have that feeling of, if you drop another game, that's potentially an opportunity for someone to jump you, So you go from being now secure in first, second place to now fighting for third place, and unsure if you're going to secure that third place because the results aren't guaranteed in CONCACAF. So you got maybe like in El Salvador away, or you have to go to a Jamaica away, and it changes things. Or you have to go and you play in Azteca, and it completely changes things. And now it's like, all right, well, you add the rivalry on top of the fact we have to win to make sure we are securing ourselves a ticket to go to the World Cup. So you now flash forward to where we are now, and you have 16 additional teams. Yes, there's still a pressure there, but that additional spot maybe gives you a bit more comfort if you are in, the driving seats of the qualification table. And I think it's going to be changed forever now. I think 48 teams is the expansion. I don't think we'll probably ever go back to it. But Hector, what do you think?
I agree with you, man. It's so many teams, and also like the pressure grows, but it's more space, but also like the competition is getting better by time. Like all these new rules by FIFA. Also, I think that they have strengthened the Caribbean island. Like you see Curacao now, Suriname, all people, guys from the Netherlands that they don't make the Dutch national team, so they come here and they have a good squad. No, also like. It's been growing a lot with people going to the MLS, and it's getting difficult. It's getting harder to qualify. You see now Costa Rica. Like you think, okay, Canada, Mexico, and U.S. are not going to fight for the qualification. You think Costa Rica should be the secure spot, and it's not even in the World Cup now. It's like it's getting harder and harder, even though it's more spaces. Because they open to the competition, and the pressure, what you were saying, Mark, it's getting bigger, the rivalry is also getting bigger. I believe the work the US and Canada are doing is fantastic with the young talent and going very early stages to Europe. So when you go back to the national team, a lot of people are good players with some other experience, playing there in Europe, training every single day with some other type of footballers and everything. So that's make it harder for everyone.
Hey, let me ask you this, Hector. How are the vibes in Mexico? You and I have talked, at times, and there might be very few places, call it maybe Brazil, Argentina, where the expectations for the team are as high as they always are in Mexico. So what are the general expectations for the team in this World Cup? Obviously, getting some home matches, all those things, but with that means there's not one El Tri fan that's not thinking, okay, we have home games and we should be at least in a final.
Yeah, it's like a cycle. I don't know if you guys have there in the US, well, start from here. When you finish the last World Cup, everything goes down, and then the hype goes up a little bit because you win some game, then goes down. Then it's like a roller coaster. Like we were struggling, even though it was crazy, for the Mexican national team that even without qualification games, we had 3 different coaches, like no pressure at all. And still so many changes in between. Like it was just crazy, weird. But at this moment, I believe like the confidence, the belief in the team is good, is great because the last few games the Mexican team played very well against Portugal and Belgium. The closest type of games that you're gonna face on the World Cup, those were against 2 big teams. And the team compete, they play well, they did a good job. And then also because some guys that are like the main the key figures in the team, they were a little bit injured, not having a great season. So they're gonna be back with the team for a longer period to have or to be able to work with each other and to be able to perform pretty well these 3 games at least in the beginning of the cup. But the expectations, the belief, I just said, sometimes are irrational. Sometimes they think and it's good because it makes you believe, it makes you go there and try to win everything. But as you say, it's clear that there are 3, 4 number of candidates to win the World Cup, and at the end they have runner-ups. You have people who will be the dark horse, and I always think that Mexico can be one of the. You never count. If you ask somebody around the world, nobody will say, "Okay, I believe Mexico will win the World Cup." Nobody talks about that. But there is always one exception, and I dream about that. I dream when I was a footballer. I dream now when I'm the biggest fan of the Mexican national team. I hope one day I can see that. I know it's very difficult. I knew it was very difficult. I couldn't achieve it, but I still, dream. It costs nothing.
Listen, the belief is key. The belief is key, and I think a lot of people don't understand how far belief can get you, especially as a team. So, speaking of belief, there's one game that I want to ask about. Okay, do you remember in 2010, you guys had a small win against this French team, maybe?
Yeah.
What was that experience like? Because you played the full 90 in that game, and to step out on the pitch to represent your nation, represent your family, your loved ones in a big game, and in probably one of the most memorable World Cups of all time. But what do you remember from that match, or just from that day? Take us through what was it like to be in Hector Moreno's shoes in 2010 for that match?
Sent home the favorites.
You want me to cry already? No, it's no, it's crazy, man. Because for me, that's the best game, or whatever I dream of as a young player, as a young kid, to be able to achieve or to do as a footballer. Since I remember, I wanted to play football. When I wanted to play football, okay, what I want to do with football? I want to play Europe. Okay, I wanted to play in the national team. And that day, I have it here in my mind, everything. I didn't start the first game against South Africa. I didn't play at all. So second game against France, you see all the big names, Malouda, Nelka, Evra, Galas, all these great players you're gonna face, and I didn't know until 2 hours before the game that I was gonna start. Javier never said that the 11, the starting 11. I was dreaming, I was hoping, but I didn't know. And I just remember when I was standing there singing the Mexican anthem. Oh man, I don't know how long it lasts. 1.5 minutes, maybe the song. Everything that I went through, it just passed through my head. Everything, like when I was a child, when I was starting, when I was with the under 17, my parents were there just in front. I could see them, like they were just behind the bench. So it was like the perfect moment, the perfect scenario for me to achieve this dream. And then after that, you add that we played very well, that we won the game, even though we didn't know all the problems that they had, Now, after that, everything came into light that they had a lot of problems in the dressing room that game. But for me, like experience, it was like just the perfect game, like I can feel it, if I think about it, I feel the emotions that I felt that standing, just singing the anthem, seeing my parents there. Oh man, it's like just crazy, like it's unbelievable to explain in words like what I feel and what I still feel when I think about it, when I try to explain it, because it's beyond words, it's like goes more than that. And it's like from there on you get used to the good things, and then okay, I want to experience more and more and more and more of this. And every single time that I was able to perform in a World Cup, it was just incredible to see right when you are singing the anthem, how you can see the stadiums. It doesn't matter. I played luckily South Africa, Brazil, Russia, and Qatar. It didn't matter which country we were, that it was full of Mexicans. It was just crazy, man. I don't know how. As a player, the only thing that you can do is like just try to give your best, but you want to thank everybody, to be there for the effort that they do to be able to travel. Some people, you see some crazy stories from people who sell houses and everything to make the trip, and it's just amazing, man. I really hope and that you're gonna be in your hometown and in your country. That you, I swear, I wish you experience this and that you enjoyed this as much as I did, back then. I think it's going to be a bit different, but even more special being in your home, being in the U.S. and playing these games.
Hey, also let's not sit here, okay, and make excuses for the French team, okay? Because I have French teammates, all right, and they'll be like, oh, it was a rough day. No, you beat them. You beat them in the World Cup, okay? All right. So let's let that be clear.
No, for us it didn't matter. I was saying that because I think this month it came like another documentary about
Netflix.
I just keep it in mind. But for us, it didn't matter. It doesn't even for perfect. It's all the teams that we're gonna play. They fight against each other. Better, we're gonna win. I'd rather win, man. It doesn't matter how. I want to win. I want to do everything to make my country happy, proud, and everything. Is because at the end of the day, I believe that Mexico, especially, we are not like a country who is used to win or get big important trophies, and a big win like that is just important as a trophy sometimes.
We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. We are less than a month away from the biggest World Cup ever, right here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. All the biggest names in the sport will be here. Leo Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, and many, many more, all competing to win the world's most coveted trophy. I'm Heath Pearce, former U.S. men's national team player with stops in the Bundesliga, MLS, Denmark, and Sweden. And I'm the host of Orange Slices, sponsored by FanDuel Predicts. You can predict all the Summer Soccer Showcase action all the way to the final match with FanDuel Predicts. All you have to do is sign up to get your $25 bonus. From the opening game to the final whistle, stay locked in with every pass, every goal, and every moment that moves us closer to crowning a champion. Sign up now for your $25 bonus on FanDuel Predicts. Go to FanDuel.com/predicts to sign up. That's FanDuel.com/predicts to get your $25 bonus. Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant, 18+. Bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risks and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with our consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus offer terms. Now let's get back to the show.
I want to shift now because I got something for you both, okay? Because you guys, we're talking about historic wins, but you guys also played with some legendary players as well, and the defender, who you guys both have played with, Mr. Rafa Marquez, okay, a legend,
Yeah.
also played in many World Cups. What from as a okay, and Heath, I'll preface this to you as well. As defenders, was there anything that he passed on to you guys, any wisdom, any tips, tricks, any bits of advice on whether it's the art of defending or just being a professional, playing in multiple World Cups, how to handle yourself in those situations, playing well, not playing well, whatever it was? Did he pass down anything to you guys, just in your experience of playing with him?
Hey, Hector, I'll start real quick on this.
Okay, go on there.
Rafa did a couple of things, right? Rafa screwed me over because
Okay.
when I played next to Rafa, we were both center backs. And when Thierry Henry would turn and make a run, right? Rafa would give him the eyes, Thierry would give him the eyes, and Thierry would spin and go. And Rafa, boom, perfect ball, 60 yards right on the foot of Rafa, right? I don't have that ball. And so Rafa would play this ball whenever Thierry would give the eyes, and then be on my side on the left side. Thierry would give me the eyes, and I would give him the eyes back. Like I don't have this ball.
No.
And so then he would come back and he would throw his arms up and be mad at me. And then next time I had the chance, I would hit it and it would go all the way out for a goal kick. And then Thierry would clap for me because I tried the ball. But then Rafa would do it again. Perfect. Boom. 60 yards right on the foot of Thierry. Over the top. Thierry's behind in the goal. And so on that sense, he was incredible. But he made it difficult for me because then the expectation was that I could hit that ball. And then the other thing is when we would spread, like as wide as possible, Rafa would stay so relaxed that when he would finally come to hit me the ball, he would hit laces to me 40 yards across to open the field. And relax, like he would hit laces through the ball and it would just glide perfectly, And sometimes I'd be like, hey, Rafa, move the ball faster. And he would just tell me to relax because when it was time to come, he hit it he didn't hit like a normal pass. He'd hit laces to me across the field and just cut the grass. And I was always just like, oh, I wish I had this, So clean. The last thing I'll say, and then I'll pass it over to Hector. Rafa gave me no advice ever. He never talked. He never said a word. But when we were in the meal rooms, he was always the guy you wanted at the table because he would just be sitting, never talking, and then he would find something funny and he would laugh for 5 minutes straight, So he was always the guy you wanted because he would bring the laughter, but he wasn't really telling jokes. He wasn't really like when we were at a meal table, he wasn't always like contributing, but he was the guy that would like, if something was funny, you would hear him laugh and you'd go, okay, like this feels good because Rafa's laughing, Hector, what about you, man? You play with him obviously much more, but that's my, those are the pluses and the minuses of having Rafa Marquez in my life.
I totally agree with you. It's like the quality he has still. I think really he still trains sometimes with the national team. I see some footage of the trainings. I know what you say. I first of all, he is not a vocal leader. He was not a vocal leader. He spoke barely or not much. It's like his personality is like that. But when he had to come to you and say to you something like, okay, you are sleepy, you are doing mistake or whatever, he will come right at you, like he doesn't matter. He's no filter. Okay, yo, Mark, come on, you're sleepy. Come on, let's go in a hard way, like to wake you up. For me, to play with him was like everything what I dreamed, because when I was young, he was like the main star of Mexican national team. He was in Monaco. He signed for Barcelona. He played with these big players, and then for me to be able to train, to share with him, to be sometimes roommates and everything was just like a dream come true. To be able to share with my idol so many things. As he said, he was not very vocal. He didn't speak much, but he made you feel confident in his way. He never because I don't know, you guys, if you had some roomies that you are not comfy with them and then you don't know if you can move or you have to turn off the TV. But with Rafa, he didn't speak much, but he was really relaxed and doing his thing and let me do my thing. If you speak with him, he will be very nice and polite. But as a player, he didn't give me one advice, as he said, but I learned a lot just by looking at him, watching him, how he did everything, what he did. What he did best, he was crazy aggressive without the ball. Like the switch he can make when to gain the ball, like he can make a nasty tackle or whatever. He regain the ball and then stand up and be the cleanest, more elegant player to play those balls that he is saying. Like it was crazy for me to watch, because sometimes when you are this type of player, that elegant, good footballer, blah blah, you are soft, you are not so mean to defend. But he had both. That's why he was as good as he was. Like he had this ability to switch up. Like, okay, I'm gonna make a slide, maybe kick some leg or whatever, then stand up and be the coolest guy with the ball. And I love that. I tried to learn a lot that he was like all tricks from Heath era, because we are younger than like there was not much cameras, some kicking without the referee seeing, all this kind of thing, all these type of things that I was able to watch while I was playing with him was crazy. I learned a lot without him being vocal. And what I have to add, he was not vocal or talking too much, but when he had to do like before the game start, when everybody huddle up, I don't know how.
Yeah.
He was there. He's like, I don't know, is Rafa Marquez the footballer, like the character, and he speaks a lot, and like in a way they say, oh, is that him? Like it's just he had this capacity or ability to switch off, like the calm guy to be this winner and crazy obsessive to win and to get the victory of the game. Was good stuff, and was very, very happy to play with him for a long time.
Hey, Mark, so just so you know, a roommate for you spoiled generation is when two people
I was thinking about that.
Mark, hey, Hector, Mark doesn't know what a roommate is, After the pandemic, they've been living in luxury, There's
don't do this.
Lights off, TV on, sharing, Mark has no idea what that is.
Listen, when you go through a pandemic, okay, some of us, you have to understand that this is what happened. This was the consequence of us going through the pandemic. It became so separated, and now we have to stay in rooms by ourselves. Like, I don't think you realize the toll it takes on us as players and as people. I'm getting emotional.
Mark has no friends. He's got no friends now because he's got no roommate,
You got to get in the adjoining room.
With the Mexican national team, could you start to pick your roommates, or they pick them for you, or how did it work? Because that's, even at the club level for a long time, it's stressful, right? Like you transfer from Eindhoven to Roma, and you have no idea who you're going to be with, what language they speak, where they're from. Yeah. Maybe they have any religious type of things that they do, whatever. Like you're moving in with somebody in a small space.
In the beginning, I was so shy. It was very hard for me to get to know people and to what you say. Now, when I first moved to Holland, let me say this. I was playing in Pumas, and I moved to AZ Alkmaar. And the first trip I had with my roomie, what you were saying, it was Munir Hamdawi. I don't know if you guys remember him. He was a fantastic player. He was a striker for the national team. He played in Ajax and even Tottenham, I think. He was one striker, and he was Muslim. He is Muslim, let's say. And I swear I was ignorant in life. I didn't know what they do as religion, And there was like 5 o'clock in the morning, I remember, and he was praying. He was in his knee, like doing the prayer thing. And I woke up and then he explained to me like how many times they pray. They have to pray at this time, blah, blah, blah. But in the beginning, it was for me like he'd say, no chance at all that I knew something about this guy, or about his religion, about his customs or whatever, like it's just crazy. And like this, it can happen with a stupid thing with the television. Some guys don't like television. Some guys want to sleep at 10 o'clock. I don't know. And then you are wide awake there with no television on, and you can do nothing because it bothers him. it was just crazy. I'm glad, Mark, that you don't have to leave this because
Listen,
it's not good at all.
listen.
It's,
I've had my fair share of experience. Okay, I remember there was one senior team camp. I forget who I was rooming with, and they were random. I think it was random selection, but there's some guys who like to shower first right after training. Okay, so some guys are like, no, I need to shower first. And I was like, okay, like it's whatever. Now, mind you, this day, this day we got back from training a bit later, so it was, I think we had like 15 minutes in between, or like 20 minutes in between getting back to the hotel, showering, and then getting down to lunch, turning in your gear and getting down to lunch. He's like, I gotta shower first. I gotta shower first. He'd been doing it the whole camp, so I was like, all right, it's whatever. But like today, you need to, come on, like add some speed, bro. I kid you not. I kid you not. He laid me out to dry. This guy took a 15-minute shower, jumped out of the shower, got changed. He's like, I'll meet you downstairs. I said, hold on. We're roommates. We're teammates. At least you wait for me. If we're gonna be late, let's be late together. But not late because I was like, it's because you were taking a 20-minute shower. So, bro, after this, I think it scarred me a little bit. And
Name him.
From that point,
Name him. If you're so scared, name him.
Yes.
What's the name? I'll give you the choice if you want to name him, but I think you should because it's not something bad, but it is something that you obviously haven't forgotten.
We'll have to, I won't hang him out to dry. I'm not gonna go like for like. I'll leave him.
Be the better
But
man.
just know that experience did scar me. But aside from that, there's different things that guys do. But that showering first thing, that one, now I'm a shower first kind of guy. I can't lie. I'm a shower first. I'm first in there. I do what I got to do and we're out. I'm not waiting around anymore.
That's good, man.
Hector, shifting gears, best U.S. player of all time.
Ooh.
Ooh, good question. I have to go with Landon Donovan.
You're going over Clint, over Pulisic.
Yeah, I used to hate the guy. I don't know him personally, but I used to hate him because he was always delivering against Mexico, man. He was like, but I admire him, I respect him a lot. And I remember back in the day, I used to read some interviews, what he was doing, like, he was the first guy who take care of his mental health as well. He just like take a break and they go back when he feels ready. Everything, all what he did, I remember doing like yoga. I know you play with him, like all this wellness that is like really trendy right now, like yoga thing, this peace of mind, or all these new things that are going. Back in the day, he already did it, or at least I read some interview that he was telling about that, and I really liked that, and I admired it. I think as a player, he was phenomenal, man. He was so dangerous. He was quick, good finishing, and he had this arrogance, especially when he played against Mexico. I don't know, man. It's crazy. I think Clint had a great career also, but I would put London. Christian Pulisic I think he's still young, man. I don't know how old is he. I believe if everything goes like the path he's going, he will be like the best of all time. But until now, for me, my decision is Landon Donovan, man. Yeah, because he was a menace against Mexico, man. He always scored in the big moments. And I don't know. I don't like that guy, but I respect and admire him.
Listen, Hector, I think Heath was expecting a different answer, and
No.
I was saying, hey, did you hate him more as a player or when he started doing all of the advertising in Mexico and he started doing commercials in Mexico and these things, just like, making sure you couldn't forget him?
No, when he was playing, and all everything for me stays in the pitch. All that is business. All that is part of the game. All that. Even though when the celebration, I don't mind when somebody makes like a mockery or something. It's just part of the game, and enjoy when you can, because when you can't, the other guy is doing it. So you have to enjoy it. I don't agree with FIFA and all these new rules that you cannot celebrate, that you cannot do this, you cannot do that. It's like, come on, man, it's part of the game. The people, I fell in love, you fell in love, guys. I believe seeing some crazy celebration to put the mask on or do whatever you want to do, because it's the heat of the moment, and then just nobody do that to. I believe some places, but 99% of the guys who scored, they don't think, oh, okay, gonna celebrate to make fun of the fans. So, no, man, you want to. It's like the greatest thing. We as a defender, we don't have that much.
When I scored, I just did this with my arms, and I was like, "Where do I go? I'm tired.
What do I do?"
Somebody hug me so I can stop running." You know.
Let me tell you, I promise every single game to my wife. Okay, if I score, I will do this. I never scored, and when I did, I forgot. And I said, "Come on, sorry." I said, "Come on."
It happens like that, man. You black out, especially when it's been a while. You're like, yes, I have all this stuff in my brain. I've got this celebration. But I've had teammates like, yeah, when you score, bro, we need to do our handshake, bro. I can tell you now, if I score, I may not even remember who you are in that moment. Just simply for the fact I'm so I'm blacked out.
Also now with the VR, it's crazy. Like I think my last 3 goals, they were disallowed by VR, and so I said, "This is finished." Against that Nations League, I scored 1 goal. I remember, man. It was the 3-0, I believe, or something. It will be game over. And then some offside. I don't even watch it in replay or something. But it's like, okay, you cannot celebrate because you have to wait for the referee to communicate. It just, for me, it's strange. Like, okay, you're waiting. Goal, and then you run after 2 minutes. Like, come on.
But now you had time to actually figure out your celebration. You know, so you either celebrated too early and you now wasted the celebration, or you wait.
It's embarrassing, right? You go run to the corner flag and you get the fans involved and all these things, and then the flag goes up every time you score, and then they waited. Actually, let me ask you guys: did you see the one? I was actually doing a broadcast on the weekend in San Jose. The guy from FC Dallas, where he did the scuba diver and then he drank the beer.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you after.
My teammates in Europe were showing me. They were like, "This is what you guys are doing?"
Yeah. So it's like basically into the game, Hector. He dribbles down. It's a through ball breakaway. He subs in late in the game. He scores in front of the ultras. He does like a scuba diver off behind like the advertising, and then they're throwing everything, trying to hit him with like the flags. And they throw this big, like, tall can of beer, and he just picks it up and he drinks it all over his face and throws it. It was amazing, you know. And in the real time, I'm like, can I celebrate this? Can I talk about this? Is he going to get in trouble? I don't know. And so, but I'll send it to you. It's like vintage celebration.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, good, man. This I think I miss that, you know, like, because I know it's to be a little bit more fair, but. Still, it's killing, I think, the rhythm and everything. Like, it's part of the game. Still, even with VR, there are some decisions that there might be mistakes or they might be doubtful or they create controversy. It's just part of the game, I think. I'm pro technology and everything, but these things that don't kill the game for me.
Yeah, you lose some of the natural feeling.
I got a question for both of you on VAR, because you're both defenders. And they've been told now, leave the flag down. So you do everything right? You do everything right. You're at the half line. You can look and see that guy is at least, I can see down the line, he's offside, and you have to sprint as fast as you can. And just for them to eventually, like 15, 20 yards, flag goes up. How frustrating was that for both of you, or still for you, Mark, where you do everything right, and then you have to get punished by being like, I think it's right, but they're leaving the flag down, and now you have to do extra sprints in a match.
Go on, Margie, please. Go on. You're still suffering that.
Listen, like, it's the worst, especially because sometimes it'll be like in the second half, and a striker or a winger, they'll sub on, they're fresh, and it's like their first action. You can clearly tell, like the linesman, he is in line with me, and he sees this attacker 5 to 10 yards just offside. Just the ball's, what are you doing? Like, there's no need to even go through this play. You can raise your flag. Tell everybody in the stadium he's offside. But now, this guy gets a warm-up sprint. And I, after 75 minutes, have to chase him down just for you to look at me and say, hey, sorry. my bad. Yeah, let's go back 40 yards. And he was offside. That, for me, like, It is, and for some it's like, oh yeah, it's fun, but there's a real thing because some guys you could potentially get hurt making a last ditch sprint like this, and now you've compromised yourself. So I think in those situations it's always difficult, it's always challenging because there's that natural aspect of it because you want to let the play flow out and you don't want to make the mistake, and we all understand referees, they don't want to make the error. However, guys, everybody on the TV can see it. You can see it. The attacker knows he's offside. Like, there's no need to go through this.
How about you, Hector?
No.
Hey, Hector, you know who was the king of this? Rafa.
Yeah.
Rafa take a half a step, not look around, and just put his hand up, and then you would have to really sprint back to make the play.
With his name, I think he whistled a lot, because the assistant, he saw, okay, Rafa, okay, offside.
Yeah.
For sure, man.
50-50
is offside.
Yeah.
No, I hate it. I totally hated this because, man, okay, you, Mark, you are very fast, I believe, but very athletic. I wasn't, man. I wasn't fast at all. For me, it was like I saved my sprints for the game, like 3 or 4 max, tough game 5. So to make one sprint, even though I know it's offside already, come on, I wanted to kill that guy. It's like, especially, I never was this kind of explosive guy. I always try to read the game and everything. So this type of sprints that with like not thinking at all, it hurts. I got hurt like I think 2 times with that things. Maybe not to get off the game, but then I start feeling it, and then I have to the next game take some rest. But because I was like my game, I tried to play the game like trying to anticipate things and everything, like when I had to go like full speed with no anticipation, it was for me like the worst thing. And this type of, okay, you see it, everybody in the stadium see it, nobody's excited of the action, but still you have to sprint it full. No, man, I hate it. I hope they change this.
The worst for me is when the attackers celebrate this action. They'll score and they'll go and celebrate like they're like, yeah. You're like, bro, you're offside. Like you click, and then they're like no.
Yeah, no.
And then they're like, there's no.
Hey, when you're away and that happens, and then the flag goes up, and when they score and they go celebrate and the fans go crazy and it gets taken back, that's a nice feeling though, because
Fantastic.
they've sort of provoked their own fans, to like score and then do this big dramatic, like how, why, It's like in the NBA when the guy gets, they grab him and then all of a sudden he shoots after and he's like, why didn't, give me the advantage, We'll start to wrap this up for you, Hector, because I know you spent a lot of time with us, so we appreciate that. So the Mexico and the U.S. can meet as early as the round of 32, maybe even round of 16, which would be amazing. Could Mexico survive another loss to the United States, or would it be the very end,
Oof. It will be very hard. It will be very difficult. And I hope that we don't face each other until the end, my belief is, and my hope is that I don't know if we can delay it until the end, if both teams are going through the I don't know, I haven't seen that, but I really hope, because it will be for any of us, like for Mexico, even for the USA, because at this moment, I believe and I think that the expectations, I don't know if I'm wrong, are higher with you guys in Canada than Mexico in the area, because the type of players you have, like Mark and all the other guys who are playing in top teams in Europe. Canada also are going with the Davis playing in the biggest teams in the world. So I think like the positive believing and hearing for the Mexican team in Mexico is growing, but I believe in the area still, like Canada and the U.S. team has more expectations, I believe, for my opinion. I what I feel, what I think, or what I've been reading and seeing from the media. But I hope we don't face each other. I hope that we can go through till the end, and you guys get crushed by some other team. And Mexico, if it had to be, get beaten by other team also, because it will be very hard for any of us to recover from that game. As it had been from the it was 2002, I think, in
2002,
Korea. Yeah, for Mexican, it was very hard for the Mexican team, for the player who played that game to recover, and let's hope not to go in that place. But I believe that both teams we have a great chance to go through. And I think to you, Mark, I know Mauricio, great coach. I play with him. He brought me to Español, and I know that he can get the best out of you, and then you guys gonna be flying on the World Cup, hopefully, no, for you guys.
No, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that, and yeah, we play Mexico. I mean, we'll see what things. If that happens, you'll have to go through all the scenarios, hypotheticals. I'll look at my bracket. You know, we love a bracket in the U.S., so I'm sure we'll have to go through this whole thing. But
it's the first thing we do, eh? You know, like when you see the group stage. Okay, 3 points here.
Okay, if we first and third, okay.
Like that, yeah.
I'm like, oh man. Now with 48 teams, it's even more. So.
Well, I will say. My favorite thing, though, is that when the host nations do well, it makes everything better for everybody, right? Canada, U.S., and Mexico. I went to the Germany-Mexico game, but I started at the fan zone in Moscow when Moscow crushed Saudi Arabia. And it just brings the country to life, you know? And for me, it makes everything better. And the longer that the host nations stay in, the better it is for everybody. So I'm hoping everybody, you know, Canada, Mexico, U.S. have a deep run, because the longer that lasts, the more fans you're going to bring in, the more excitement there is, the more you have a chance to sort of change a generation. So that's my neutral vote on all of this stuff. But Hector, thank you so much for joining us. Mark, again, I always appreciate your insights, these conversations. It's probably my favorite episode ever. So I appreciate both of you guys giving some of that honest transparency. But we're going to be back again next Tuesday. So thank you all for listening. Subscribe, leave a review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. And follow us on Instagram if you haven't already at Slice of Soccer. Thank you all so much for tuning in, watching. Again, send those comments in so we can get them on the show. And thanks again, Mark. Thanks again, Hector. And we'll see you guys next time.